All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Wakakadas. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth 100% securely. I would like to give a salutation to the Akim and Aqua who are listening and studying to show ourselves approved. This is your brother Bayan from the Tulsa, Oklahoma, Hebrew Israelite Camp, coming back to you with another quick lesson. And this pretty much a quick lesson and another reason why we do the video epistle, all right, based on the 2/3, okay? So these 2/3, these 2/3 Jakes, they gotta go, okay? Just plain and simple, they gotta go because it's ultimately why in the midst of America, aka Babylon the Great, is in the process of being destroyed, all right? We got to get rid of these 2/3 Jakes, okay? Because we can't enter into the kingdom with 2/3 Jakes having the same mindset as Esau Edom once had, okay? Salakia. So we got to, Yahweh Shai is coming back to purge out these wicked mindset, okay? And this is pretty much the 2/3 Jake that we're looking at right here on the screen, all right? So, and Yahweh Shai said it best, all right? Yahweh Shai even warned his disciples in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, okay, where he basically gave a breakdown on uh what the signs to look for when we start to when the Yahweh Shai is going to revisit the world, okay, the signs to look for when we know that we are living in the last days, okay, when we're living in perilous time. All right, so uh we go ahead and start this off with let's get the book of Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. Okay, because it says, he answered me, then said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right. Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right. So this article is pretty much just just proving that the scriptures is spot on and how accurate the scriptures are. All right. When you read Isaiah 55, let's go ahead and get that real quick. Get the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 11. Okay. And it reads, it says, so shall my word be that go forth out my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. Okay. Void means empty. But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the things whereto I sent it. All right. So this word, the prophecies in the book, is being made manifest. All right. So anything that Yahweh Shai says is gonna go. It's gonna happen eventually. All right. It's not gonna happen on your time. It's gonna happen on Yahweh Shai's time. All right. So we're getting into this article. As you can see the title right here, it says Tulsa couple accused of abusing two children, one missing for 2 years. 2 years, man. All right. So let's go ahead and get it. Let's get into it, right? It said the couple in Tulsa County Jail accused of repeatedly abusing their 13-year-old daughter and possibly killing their 11-year-old son, but nobody knew for years. All right, and he said, we warn you the details of this case are difficult to hear. Detectives said the parents told family members the boy was at a cousin's house. Family members said the boy hasn't been seen for about 2 years and he's not been in school. Police said the 13-year-old told her grandma, her mother, and stepfather killed her brother. Let's read this again. Police said the 13-year-old told her grandmother. So the 13-year-old girl is alive, right? Her mother and stepfather killed her brother. You see that? And that's one of the signs. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna continue on reading, but these are one of the signs that Yahweh Shah warned the disciples in the book of Matthew. Let's go get that real quick. The book of Matthew, chapter 24. All right, because you even when you read at the top, we're gonna start at the first verse, 24 and verse 1. All right, and it said, and Yahweh Shah went out and departed from the temple, and his disciple came to him for to suit him the buildings of the temple. And Yahweh Shah said unto him, and said unto them, Salakia, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. All right, which is ultimately this article is another reason why America, aka Babylon the Great, shall be destroyed because it's infected. Okay, it's infected with a lot of wicked-minded individuals. All right, they're just simply not going to be able to, you know, convert themselves or turn back from their behavior. They're rabid dogs. So what do you do with a rabid dog? You got to put him down. All right, and that's what Yahweh Shah is going to do to these two-thirds Jake, the two-third nation of Israel. All right, Matthew 24 and 3. And it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the signs of thy coming and of the end of the world? All right. So Yahweh Shai is getting ready to answer them, and he's going to break down what the signs we must look for. Okay. And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Okay? The first sign is a false prophet. All right? So Yahweh Shah, the first step, false prophet. There's all kinds of false prophets around the world. Okay? Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right? We got Russia, China, okay, Ukraine, all right, so on and so forth. So these are wars and rumors of war. So now there's talk of World War III. As of late, you got Esau Edom pretty much lying to the media talking about they shot down UFOs, so on and so forth. These are rumors of war. And Yahweh Shah said, see that you be not troubled, because the end is not yet. Okay? But we're heading that way, right? Verse 7. And it said, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All right, just had that earthquake in Syria. All right, you know, we had an earthquake down here in Oklahoma as well. Okay, earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, you got the pestilence. All right, we came out of that C-19. Now they're coming up with more pestilence. Okay, you got the famine. The food shortage getting ready. The price of the food is very high. All right. Uh, you know, I recently had a conversation with my mom. She likes to go buy 18 eggs at a store, and she told me they like $20 here in Oklahoma now. And at one point they used to be like Salaki, not $20. It was $7. Okay. At one point it was like $1, $1.50, $1.75 to buy 18 eggs. All right. So when you go to the store, you buy $7 for 18 eggs. You're paying $7 for 18 eggs. Okay, so that's the high prices on the food. All right, which ultimately leads to food shortage. Now, Matthew 24 and 8. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. All right. Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Okay. And this is pretty much this is going on right now. So I recently saw a post. The brother Sapai had put it up, and there was this Jake on there, basically accusing Apostle Tahar of starting war among Israelite group. Okay, so basically this is nothing more than just people trying to afflict the righteous men of Great Millstone. All right, so they're trying to do little tactics to get for the men of Great Millstone and pretty much the true prophets of Yahweh Shai to be delivered up for the name of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so you got that happening. Yahweh Shai warned us of these things, right? All right, verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Verse 11. Many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. All right, and this is verse 12 will pretty much be the point. And he said, and because iniquity shall abound, all right, iniquity, the Greek word for iniquity, anomia, all right, anomia, it said the condition without law, all right, because of ignorant of it, because of violating it, all right, contempt and violation of law, iniquity, wickedness, all right. So, and it says, because iniquity shall abound. So the iniquity is basically, a lot of individuals that's ignorant of the laws of Yahweh Shai, or they either know the law and they still choose to violate it. All right. Either way, it's still wickedness. Okay. And it says shall abound. With that Greek word is platino. Okay. Platino. And it says to increase, to multiply. All right, to be increased, to be multiplied. All right, so there's that. And it says the love of many shall wax cold. Okay, so get the Greek word for cold is suko, which is actually spelled like psycho. All right, and the definition of that is the breath blow cool by blowing, to be made or grow cool or cold. Metaphor of waning love. Okay, so you get that word for waning in the Google meaning. All right, metaphor for waning love. Like to give me 1 second while my phone loaded up. Okay. Wane. All right, it says wane, and it says have a progressively smaller part of visible surface illuminated so that it appears to decrease in size. All right, so a lot of people walking around and their love for one another is decreasing. All right, it's decreasing in size, it's disappearing. Okay, which is formed with pretty much Yahweh Shai warned the disciples of these things, of these times coming. Okay, so now going back into this article, all right, reading this again, it said the 13-year-old told her grandma her mother and stepfather killed her brother. Now there used to be a time where Eve didn't play that kind of mess. Okay, the Eve of our nation, the women of our nation, will rather kick the stepfather out than to bring any type of abuse to their own children. Okay, they were like mother bears, but now that love is completely finished. All right, and this is what you're seeing in this article. Okay, so reading on, it said John Mill and Camille Lewis are facing the account of child abuse by injury and child neglect. Police said the 13-year-old girl was sent to live with her grandmother recently. Her grandmother asked the girl where her brother was, and she said he was dead and that her mother and stepfather had killed him. All right, and it said Debbie Kalanoke, live in the neighborhood just a few doors down, and said her mom lived across the street. Horrible, horrible. It's just horrible. Something like that can happen literally right outside my mother's house, you know? And us not knowing anything more about it, said Debbie Kalanock, neighbor, I wish I knew more about the situation earlier. That's all I can say. And I can say to other people, if you see something, say something, do something. You see that? And he said Debbie said a girl was friends with Debbie's granddaughters. All right, and they would play and talk and stuff at. All right, Shalaki. My recording. Something happened on my recording, but anyway, let's pretty much get back into it. All right, cause reading this paragraph again, okay, because it said Debbie said the girl was friends with Debbie's granddaughter, and they would play and talk and stuff at school and everything, but she wanted to come down and play in their house, and I wouldn't let her because I knew there had been drive-by shootings because their car had been sitting out and had been shot at, windows shot out and stuff like that. And so I just didn't find it like find it like a safe, an environment for them to be in. But the little girl was really sweet and nice, and I talked to her quite a bit, said Debbie. Okay, so these are pretty much the neighbors that was in the area. All right, and Debbie said she believed the family moved out about 6 months ago and will come from time to time and pick up mail and haul trash out. She said police have been in and out of her neighborhood this week. My mom had told me that there was a whole bunch of police present and undercover cop, and they had bought a dog out there, said Debbie. The arrest report said the girl said she and her brother was starved for days and was locked in separate closets for weeks, even months at a time. You see, and this is why 2/3 of our nation gotta go, okay? Because they're pretty much emerged in the mindset of Esau Edom. Okay, this is pretty much what Esau Edom, the so-called white man, would do. All right, all right. And so now they're doing their own children like this. Jake Yasser Ali is pretty much doing their own children, which pretty much a 2/3. Okay. And yeah, how about me outside? They said he's gonna cut them off and die, and this is the reason why. Okay, you got stuff like this going on. All right, so reading that again, it said the arrest report said the girl said she and her brother were starved for days and was locked into separate closets for weeks, even months at a time. It said the children were beaten repeatedly with belts and cords, covered in scars, and they were forced to use the bathroom in a cup or a bag in the closet. It said in order to get food, the girl had to do sexual favors for Miles. You see that? And this is all right, because Miles is the stepfather, but the fact that the woman had, their mother, their actual mother had less love, okay? Because Yahweh Shah just warned us of these things. The love of many shall wax cold. It's to that point where the mothers don't even love their children no more, to where they will allow wicked acts to their children to happen like this. All right. And it said, reading on, it said the girl told police that her mother told her the little boy died from having a seizure. The girl said she heard them yelling for the boy to wake up, but he didn't. And her mother told her Miles and his cousin buried the boy in a nearby park. Okay. And she said they worried it was too shallow. You say? So they worried that they didn't bury the little boy deep enough. Okay, so they dug him up and brought him back to the house where they burned his body in a barrel and dumped the ashes in a drainage system. It's just awful when something like that happened to kids because they're defenseless, and they're given to us by God to take care of and protect their Debbie. All right, so you pretty much have it. Let's see what reading on. It said police said Lewis admitted she withheld food from the children and beat them, but denied her son's death. All right, so the report said she told police the boy ran away in the fall of 2022, and after about a week of looking, they quit and they never called police. Miles denied any knowledge of any abuse. I don't think there's a place you can put them that far enough away from society, said Debbie. Miles was the stepdad to those two children, but he and Lewis have three children of their own as well. Okay, so detective told us they are treating this case as a homicide. All right, so and you notice another thing that I noticed is that there is no mentioning of the mother's wrongdoing in this situation. And I'm not taking up for the Jake because he got to go anyway. But that mother, they covered that feminist bullshit in this article. All right, so they're trying to alleviate the account of the mother in here. They ain't mentioned nothing about what the mother, how could a mother possibly allow this to happen to her children. All right, so that's the wickedness of this world. But let's just get into the scriptures, man. This is exactly why 2/3 must die. All right. And I don't feel no sorry for him when you how about me outside giving their judgment tomorrow. I ain't gonna feel sorry for him at all. And they deserve it. They need to be put to death. They missile food. That's exactly what they are. So this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and 8. All right, and it said, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. All right, and when we talking about the two parts, the two thirds of the nation of Israel shall be cut off and die, and this is the reason why, because they have this wicked mindset. Okay, this wicked mindset, just like Esau Edom. All right, they're basically rabid dogs. All right, and you got to put down rabid dogs. Okay, getting a few more scriptures. We're just gonna close it out, man. It's just just a quick lesson, just to show Yasharala, man, is the wickedness is spreading. All right, spreading like that Green Bay tree. This is Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 22. It said, "For my people is foolish; they have not known me. They are childish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil." You see that? They are wise to do evil. Right? And they said, they basically wise enough to commit this evil act by saying like they didn't bury the little boy good enough, so they redug him up and then put him in a barrel and burn his body into ashes and then just dump it in the drainage. That's what you call wise to doing evil in the book of Jeremiah chapter 4 and 22. But to do good, they have no knowledge. You see that? To do good, they ain't got no knowledge, man. And that's why 2/3 of the nation of Israel must go. All right, they don't have no place here. They don't have no place as of right now. They don't have no place on this side. They got to be, purged out and be reborn again. All right. So the book of Hosea. All right. Matter of fact, when they get reborn again, they're gonna be able to do it right on this side. All right, because they're gonna have the laws in their inward part and so on and so forth. Okay. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, and we pretty much verse 6. Hosea 4 and 6, and it said, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." All right. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the laws of thy power. I will also forget thy children. You see that? So now, and not only did the Yahweh Yahushua is, forgetting these individuals, but he's gonna forget their children. He's not even gonna save their children. All right, and that's pretty much, man. I mean, but damn, these wicked ass individuals. But anyway, uh, let's get the book of Amos. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come back to that Amos. Let's get Second Esdras, chapter 8, and we start at verse 55. All right. Okay, because this is why we don't worry about the 2/3 no more, man. We doing these videos now. We gonna focus on the elect. Okay, so Second Ezra chapter 8 and 55, and it said, "And therefore ask thou no more questioning concerning the multitude of them that perish." All right, so these were stuck in their lot, so ain't no point of even trying to save them. Okay, in verse 56, "For when they have taken liberty, they despise the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways." So they have a time when they had it of repenting, they forsook the ways of Yahweh Yahushua. Verse 57. "Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart," all right, that the Hebrew word for heart is la, which is meaning mind. Okay, so they said in their heart, all right, pretty much they said in their mind, there is no God. Okay, there is no power. Yeah, that knowing they must die. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. All right, so thirst and pain are prepared for them, for it was not his will that man should come to naught. But they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him, and which prepared life for them. And therefore, in my judgment now at hand, These things have I not sued unto all men, but unto thee, and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, Behold, O Lord Yahweh, now hast thou shewed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last time, but at what time thou hast not shewed me. All right, so pretty much, reading up is that these 2/3 dates they're gonna die. All right, cause y'all and thus said Yahweh about you outside. Okay, so we go from there and read Amos chapter 9 and 8. Okay, and it says, Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh power are upon a sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Okay, so these individuals, these 2/3 eight, all right, they're going to be destroyed right along with Esau Edom kingdom. Okay, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I would not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay, and pretty much going back full circle to Zechariah 13:8, because it said 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, and a third shall be left therein. So they're talking about that 1/3, the 1/3, the righteous, the ones who's trying to get back right where Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to provide a way for them to, reach salvation. Okay. So, I didn't want to make this lesson too long again. So let's get was it First Peter? Let's go ahead and get that. When I say First Peter chapter 4 and about the 17th verse, right? All right, because it says First Peter chapter 4 and 17, and it says, For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. Okay, who's the house of the Most High? Is Yasser Allah, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, the judgment, Yahweh about me outside bring the judgment on the house of Yasser Allah. And it says, And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? All right, verse 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Okay, and then basically this scripture right here in Revelation 14, Salaki, not Revelation 14, Revelation 21, it's pretty much gonna answer that question. We go ahead and end it off with this one, right? So this is Revelation 21. We can actually start at verse 7, but the point of being verse 8. Okay. And it says, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son. Okay, so those are that 1/3 in Zechariah 13:8 that's going to be left therein, and they those are 1/3 that's going to be overcome it. All right, and we're going to be the sons of the living power, the sons and daughters of the living power. But for the sinful and the ungodly, okay, going back and reading, addressing First Peter chapter 4 and 17, because he said, if the righteous shall scarcely be saved, where would the sinner and the ungodly appear? Okay, and the answer is right here, and several other scriptures that pretty much answer that question. But this Revelation 21:8, and it said, but the fearful and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and whoremongers and soakers and all idolaters and Salakia and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burn with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Okay, and they having their part in the lake which burn with fire. Okay, what's going to bring that lake of fire is a thermonuclear missile that's going to be shot over here in America, aka Babylon the Great. Okay, so individuals like this, these devils right here that you're looking at, okay, these 2/3, they're gonna have their part with burn with the lake of fire. All right, just like the whoremongers, okay, because it says abominable, murderers, and whoremongers, which is whoremongers your modern day pimp, okay, the madams, all right, sulkerers, people that's practicing that witchcraft, idolaters, all right, worshiping other things besides the Most High, and all liars, all right. And it says, shall have their part in the lake which burn with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Okay, so that's pretty much the point right there, man. So these are 2/3, they gotta go, man. They must be cut off and die. All right. So, Lord willing, I hope this lesson is edifying. And with that, we give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone for teaching me the truth 100% securely. Shalom, DTA, Ababa, Kwam Yashavala.